So essentially what we're going to try to do in 4 minutes or less is go over some notes we took the other day of, is twice a day moves worth it? And obviously we're going to be sharing our experience. So all we're talking about is our experience over the last 4 months of doing twice a day moves. So Ben, start us off.
Pros is definitely, biggest pro is you could increase your stocking rate.
Increase stocking rate.
Yeah, definitely increase stocking rate, because we have slowed the cows down so much by moving them twice a day that this is a 20-acre pasture that this is the first time we're even grazing it. We haven't even grazed this whole front side of the farm. So we're looking at 50 acres that we haven't touched all summer, and being in a droughty summer for up till July.
It also obviously helps increase rest and recovery period, which no matter what time of grazing you're doing, rest and recovery and having the appropriate rest and recovery is obviously very, very important. And that has slowed, like Ben was saying, slowed the herds down so that we have more forage in rest and recovery phase, which obviously helps with root growth, plant growth, increasing those soil to microbiology relationships, having more time for them to do that. We had them packed down to 40,000 pounds an acre, essentially.
Double that, probably
Double
like
that?
80, yeah.
Between 40 and 80,000 pounds, depending on where we were on the farm. But there was a lot of thin spots on the farm because either they're on side slope or the soil just wasn't recycling the nutrients very well. And after just one time of twice a day move, so taking that herd and really tightening them up on that forage, the forage that has come back, the regrowth, is actually a lot thicker than it has been ever before. And watching this farm for the last 8 years that we've owned it, that's pretty huge to see in just one grazing impact. So that was a big one for me.
Another pro for me is just, instead of one a day or once every 3 days, getting to interact with the herd, those developing heifers, you want to look at them and kind of see what they're doing and, see who the bull's following. And you get 2 chances a day to kind of evaluate the herd and look at them. And
don't touch that camera. There's a little calf right behind the camera. Animal behavior, I'm going to kind of put that into animal interaction, animal behavior. While we've been able to interact with them more, I've been watching how they've been grazing and what that behavior looks like. Obviously, when you increase the competition factor in the herd, they tend to eat more plants and forages that they wouldn't normally. So some of the weedy species, autumn olive, I'm just gonna use that as an example. They've actually stripped the entire plant, not just nibbled the tops of the leaves like they have in the past. Still, that's a hard plant to impact, but they've been doing a lot better job of doing a more even graze as well. So not saying that that's necessarily a good or bad thing, but during certain times, maybe that's what you're looking for. So that's been really helpful. Do another pro. And then we'll get to the cons.
What did I have listed?
We're already at 5 minutes. Darn it.
Happy lines on the calves.
That was a new one this year.
Yeah. Seeing, what are they, 5-month-old calves with happy lines, slick, happy lines, just looking good. So.
Yeah, this is the first year we've noticed happy lines on our calves before.
This little heifer right here.
Yeah, she's got some happy lines, which is, I think, a good thing. So we'll put that as a pro. Anyway, so a lot of great things that we've noticed about twice a day moves. Let's go over into the cons because it's a lot of work. So let's start there. It's a lot of work to do twice a day moves.
You got to do it. You got to come out here twice a day. You got to make the time, do it in the morning, do it in the evening. And that's kind of been our routine is morning, I'll come out. That's kind of like the longer period for me, check mineral, check cows, move them, and then take up back fence and then put up another front fence for the evening move. So the evening move is literally a 5-minute evolution, as assuming everything goes well. And once the cows are trained to it after a week or so of doing this, it's pretty seamless.
Yeah, so getting them used to the twice a day moves, more time. Come out here twice a day with the four-wheel. Usually I come out here once a day with the four-wheelers to save on fuel. We run out here in the evenings to move them. So I don't know if that's a pro or con. I guess we'll call it a pro. We get some exercise coming out here to do the second move to save on fuel, not necessarily time. On burnout, I've tried to do twice a day moves in the past and usually only make it about a month before I just burn myself out. This year though, I've had some extra help, so that's been absolutely beneficial for me, and being able to kind of split those chores up has been really awesome. So for con, burnout, but if you have some help, you can kind of make that work. If you don't already have, for us on this farm, we already have infrastructure in place. We've got water throughout the entire length of the farm, watering points. We've got really good woven wire fence, perimeter fence around everything, so it makes it easier for us to just split these bigger 5, 10, 20 acre paddocks into smaller paddocks. So that's kind of a con. If you don't have the infrastructure already in place, it might be more work and more labor on your part. And then talk about the water tanks and cow trails. That's one of our last cons I think we had. Yeah,
Obviously you got to get creative with your lanes back to water, or, you know, if you're not putting up a back fence, obviously you'll get some more, you know, kind of overgrazed areas. So we've tried to just lane them back to water. And the way we've done that is just run the lane down the perimeter fence. So like any cow trails that we end up getting, which wasn't bad because we're moving, you know, kind of shifting so quickly, would be, you know, parallel to the perimeter fence, which really is that big a deal. And up on tops of the hills, obviously we can't get water up there. So one thing we did was we called the neighbor who has, I think they got city water up there. And we were like, hey, can we run a tank, you know, off of your, you know, we'll put a meter on it and, you know, we'll compensate you. And I think we traded in beef for water, and we were on that tank for about a week, but it just helped us, you know, graze that top side of the hill where we can't pump water up that high. Our pump just won't push it.
Yeah, so having water, being more flexible with the water. Right now, all we have are permanent water sources, so 4-ball Richies. And so for this twice a day moves, because you're moving them so slowly, bringing them back to that water point so many times can wear cow trails in the sides of your hills, which then lets rain and all that come straight down your hills, which is something I was trying to avoid. So that's why we've been trying different ways of taking more flexible temporary water points via hoses or what's that black poly pipe called?
Just black poly pipe.
Black poly pipe, and running it out from those permanent water sources so that we could get it to other places. And so that's been a con, because that's more work on your part. There's a lot of other points that maybe we'll hit in other videos, but we wanted to hit just the top points that we remembered. So if you're thinking about doing twice a day moves, those are just some things to think about. And if that works into your lifestyle, your farm style, that's up to you and your context. But so far we like it, and we're going to keep doing it.
Yeah, I think it's worth it, and I enjoy it.
Yeah, awesome. Until next time, happy grazing.